Hey guys, so it's me, Kiani. Today's video, I'll be sharing with you one of the most timeless makeup looks, the smoky eye, and how to make it more flattering for mature eyes. If you've ever felt like dark shadows have made your eyes feel older or felt more tired, then this tutorial is totally for you. I'm going to be showing you how to create a soft, lifted, smoky eye that enhances your eye shape, brightens your look, and adds just the right amount of drama without emphasizing textures and fine lines. Whether you're getting ready for a night out or just wanting to elevate your everyday look, this look is all about blending, balance, and confidence. So grab your makeup bag and let's get started. Let's go ahead and get into this beautiful bronze smoky eye. I have been craving applying one on myself in hopes that I will be able to encourage you pop that eyeshadow on. So what I've done is just added a little bit of my Cozzette finishing powder. If you guys remember when I used to travel with the makeup show, this brand of powder, oh my god, as a beautiful finisher. Did you see how it just gave me that beautiful pop? But the main thing is to make sure if I have any fallout that kind of finds its way in this foundation look, then I can just flick it off. So let's move into the eyes. What I want to do is frame my eye. What do you mean by frame the eye? I want to make sure that my eyes are balanced. What I've been noticing is, as of late, this eye turns more down. I don't know if you guys can see. So the fold is happening more on my left eye, your right, or right to you, left to me. And I need it to actually appear lifted, and that is not necessarily going to happen with powder eyeshadow. I feel like you can't manipulate the eye as much as you can with cream, so I'm just gonna go with that good old handy dandy. This is my e.l.f. I want to say this is one of their brow products, but it's the color that I'm after. If I have to be honest, the color is not as exact as what I would like for it to be, but it's going to work for now, and you'll see why. I'm trying to grab the tools that I used the last time I created this because, honey, I took my time. Pro tip, if your brushes are dirty, grab you some 91 proof alcohol, and I have a towel right underneath me here that I'm just whisking. Look at that. It cleaned the product right out, and it evaporates pretty quickly. So this helps me when I'm trying to record, because some of my brushes, I just have to use those brushes, okay? So I'm going to grab a little bit of this. Let's call it a paint pot. I know that when I end this look, I'm going to want a eyeliner, and I'm going to want the line to be bold, and I want the eye to be smoldering. So that means I'm going to apply color here to also make sure that the powder that I use is going to stick better. And I like to do the exact same thing on both eyes, back to back, so to speak. It's easier for the end result to replicate. I think people that create an eye and then they go to the other side and create it, I think their brain works totally different than mine this way, because I feel like I get better symmetry. So if you're one of those people that create one eye and then go to the other and can't figure out why it doesn't end up balanced, try this way. So now, because this is my problem eye, I'm going to start building what I call a parameter here, because I know I want the eyeshadow to be more intense on the edge, and I also know that in the inner I want the eyeshadow to be more sparkly. So I want to make sure that pigmentation lands right there. Can you see what's happened? So I'm already creating the shape. Now the hood is already fighting me. We're not going to worry about that. I'm going to move to the other side. Remember, it's like doing algebra. What you do to one side, go ahead and do to the other. Even if you weren't good at algebra, by the time you end this video, you should be able to be good at applying your eyeshadow, especially if you have a hooded lid. Can you see how this eye is not hooding the way this one is? Because there's nothing I can do about this one. It's going to set exactly the way it wants. But I can make sure that the eyeshadow looks the same. So I'm pulling this eyeshadow up more on the hood, which means I can pull this eyeshadow up more on the hood as well. Now, when you're looking at it, You see how it's tricking the eye? Because although the lid itself is settling, the eyeshadow product placement is what's going to balance that out. And of course, because I know that I want sparkly shadow here, I'm going to make sure I create that proper intensity to really give that sparkly eyeshadow something to pop off of. So let me just flick this up a little bit more. And remember, this is not the time to blend. This is product placement. We're going to blend it out in just a moment. That's why it's really good to use something similar to this, even if the shade is lighter than what you would want, because then you can kind of go in and add the colors that you want and it not interfere with those colors because the pigment is not so strong here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and kind of tap this into the frame of my eye socket. Not blending, not flicking. I'm leaving blank space, and that's going to serve me well as I apply the powder shadow, because again, I know in the inner part of the eye I'm going to want shimmer. I know in the outer part I'm going to want matte. I know the eyeliner portion is going to be a different shade, and then that means that this inner lid is also going to have its time to have a different shade as well. So this is how you get that multi-colored lid, even if our lids are on the more mature side. Let's leave that alone. I think that's great. Outside of me dancing this exact same color underneath the eye, because I'm going to smoke it as well underneath. So now that we have mapped the eye, I'm going to go into, this is my Born This Way palette. Oh my god, this is such an old palette, but it's one of my favorites. I only allow myself to use it when I'm doing a smoky eye, because I honestly would just grind these colors all the way out. Like, they are so beautiful. I love a small palette that I can use all the colors, but at the same time, palettes that I love so much, I try to save them for when I really need that color, you know. So using another brush that's probably not on the market, I'm going to see if I can find a replacement. But this is a natural hair brush. It's very flat and tapered, so it really allows me to, it's a little bit damp because I just sprayed it with alcohol, so it's going to allow me to pick this color up because my foundation is already on, and I'm just going to build this color up. Are we seeing how absolutely beautifully smoldering that is? And all we're doing is what? Product placement. Packing that on the outside of the eye. Packing it, and touching it up over the lid. Because remember, this eye is not as compromised as this one. So this skin naturally falls on the bone. This one is up over the bone. So the way the brush is shaped is really going to help you pack that color exactly where it needs to be. So this is definitely why having the right tools. Can you see how I'm almost getting that symmetry that we wanted? I also like brushes like this because I can flip them over and not have to hunt. I'm going to spray it using a little bit of my Mario Badescu spray. I'm just dampening the brush, and I want to go into this beautiful light color right here, and I know I want her to go right here. Oh my god, can you see how explosive that is? And I'm just going to drag it inward. Are we seeing how beautifully explosive that is? And to keep fallout down, spraying the brush before every dip is going to serve you well. And look at that, that just fits in that socket ever so beautifully. And having a little bit of that base down really gives it a grip. It also keeps me from having to worry about where that color is going to go because I've already mapped it out. I know I want matte on the outer, shimmer on the inner. We'll continue to build as we move across the lash line, make that a little bit more smoky, and then, oh, you just wait. Let's go into another sparkly shade. Using that same sparkly side and using this beautiful bronze shimmer. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to drop that right on the lid. Dropping that right on the lid. Are we seeing that? Oh! Don't forget to spray your brush. Remember, we want to keep fallout to a minimum. And I'm actually just really, really working that shadow into this brush, packing it in. So as the bristles open up, they dispense the color. Oh yeah. Oh my God, she's so good. Oh my God, it's so good. Can you see that variation there? So you get that explosiveness and then that softness, and it goes into that beautiful, beautiful matte. And now I'm just gonna lightly tap this over the top of that icy just to make sure everything is nice and married together. And keep tapping that over, making that beautiful, beautiful icicle-y effect. Like, right? You can see that in all angles of the eye. Okay? This is why also I say do both eyes simultaneously, because I feel like as you get into your creative flow, you can really tell where the color should go even better. So good. So now that we have the eyeshadow packed here, I'm going to move in with another dual fiber brush. So sorry, this is another Morphe brush. This is the Y16. And I'm just going to buff this out. Because having this brush clean, it allows me to pull the color out, to expand the depth on the side. Can you see how we're just toning that down without losing the intensity? It's almost like erasing. And I'm going to go back in. I'm just grabbing a little bit of these two mattes here because it's going to kind of help set the base that's underneath, and it's also going to keep me from pulling too hard and exploding that color out in areas that I don't want. It's just going to kind of neutralize it out and blend it right into the eyebrow. Do y'all hear that wind out there? Like, the weather here in Georgia is absolutely insane. Grabbing this tight, what I call a bulb brush. It's really going to allow me to dispense this color. So I'm going to go in to this chocolate brown, and I'm going to drag it right along the lash line, because I'm going in for the kill now. I really want that color to be sultry and sexy and shimmery and really highlight my brown or blue eyes. This look works great on both eye colors. And I'm going to kind of erase this cool tone. Okay, I'm typically not a cool tone girl, but some kind of way it has worked its way into this look. So you're getting the best of both. Can you see how we're now really landing the look? It's going smoky, but so wearable. But somebody's going to say, oh no, we can stop right here. And you could, but we're going to really, I'm going to grab, let's grab a brush that's on the market, shall we? Little pointed elf brush. What I want to do here is work with this exterior shape. Outer V, just the tiniest bit of black. Because what's going to happen, this is going to make sure, especially on this side of my eye, where I know that eye looks like it's drooped, I'm going to trick it. Can you see how it looks like it's turning upward now? Because it's going to follow the placement of the triangle. Can you see that? So I am creating an illusion. So although the eye is going down, the depth of color is visually making the eye look like it's going upward. Okay? Doesn't it look like my eye is going upward? That's crazy. So on the lashes, exterior lash line, you have to do it on both sides. So just flicking it up. This is not about drawing a eyelash line. This is about creating visual balance. But you're going to see in just a moment, it's not about the wing. It's going to be about the smoke and the smoldering. Grabbing me a tighter natural hair brush. All right. Because we have this on. Remember I said it wasn't really about the wing. It's going to be about creating that beautiful end result that we love. With that Smokey, just blended it in. So it's not about drawing lines and things anymore. It's more about being intentional with application and making sure your finish is stellar. Alright, move to the other side. Making sure you're following your original mapping and getting your dual hair brush and blending it out, because we're not leaving any lines, because we're about to land this plane. Flick, flick, flick. Smoke, smoke, smoke. Blending out on the other side as well. And I'm honestly just dragging the brush. I'm not doing so many circles because I don't want to diffuse the color out. I just want to make sure it's blended with no harsh lines. Oh my goodness. I'm thinking that looks good. All right. Grabbing a little bit more black. And just draping that right across the lash line. And the beautiful thing about applying a shadow base first and then eyeshadow, when you get to the point of this wet liner here, it's starting to settle. So you don't have to worry about it slipping and sliding outside of the parameters. And I'm going to grab this brush. I've loaded it up right into the waterline. And dragging it, because we want that stellar, intense smoky, right? And this is possible because we have this beautiful foundation look already applied as well. And I'm just going back over it with that beautiful deep, deep chocolate brown. Like this color, when I tell you, it's one of the prettiest tone browns, because I feel like it has a little bit of a red undertone to it, which really makes brown eyes pop. And if you have blue eyes, it's going to really make the blue pop as well, because it will lean more of a purple brown. So, and I think I just want to tap this right over the black just to make it look a little bit more blended. So I toned it down just a little bit. I'm going to grab this brown on this brush. Remember, we've just been using this as a cleanup brush, but now I'm going to set this color down and fan it out, just to really make it look like a beautiful wearable editorial smoky eye. I feel like this look deserves a false lash, because it really creates that intensity around the lash line. And it's very important to make sure that you measure your falsies before you apply them. Just getting your foundation powder and whisking up to make sure nothing smudges or smears outside of what you've already done. And the color combination of the lip that I started with are from my brand, of course, Lip Tricks. You have Yum and Barely There. But I think I'm going to finish the look off with a little bit of our Feel Something lip lacquer. Just to bring a little warmth to the look. What do we think? And there you have the finalized look. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed this video on how I have been creating smoky eyes on my mature eyes. I'm hoping the tips and techniques have really served you well, and I've given you something to think about, so we're not having to shun away from wearing those beautiful eyeshadow palettes on our eyes and really living our best lives. If you could comment down below and let me know if any of these tips have helped you, if there are any more tips that I can actually share. You guys know I love to know. Comment down below. You guys also know I love to connect with you, so make sure you you connect with me. Follow me on all my social media links to never miss another upload. Until next time, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hugs and kisses. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.